What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Liderazgo para Todos podcast, or Leadership for Everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Our goal is to help you develop your leadership potential wherever you are. Before we get started, I want to let you know that we will be launching our first course in April called Influence: How to Become a Leader Worth Following. I want to teach you 8 habits that will transform your life and leadership so that you can increase your ability to influence yourself and others. Each habit will include a video lesson, an outline to follow, and a project to help you put it into practice. Stay tuned for more info. In this first episode, I want to talk to you about what leadership is. Before we can talk about what leadership does or who leadership is for, we have to talk about what leadership is. Leadership is a popular topic today. Did you know some corporations spend up to $10 billion every year on leadership development? Or that over 1,000 new leadership books are published every year? That doesn't include new leadership podcasts and social media channels that are started every day. I believe leadership is popular because leadership is universal. It's part of everything we do, and we experience it every day. Parents are leaders of their kids. Managers are leaders of their employees. Teachers are leaders of their students. Coaches are leaders of their teams. Pastors are leaders of their churches. And governments are leaders over their communities. All of us are either leaders or followers in some capacity. Since leadership is all around us, we should know exactly what it is and what it is not. Because there is good leadership to follow, and there is bad leadership to avoid. Let me ask you a question. How would you define leadership? If somebody asked you, what is leadership, what would you tell them? Is leadership influence? Is it telling people what to do? Is it being in charge? Is it setting a good example? All of these might be part of leadership, but they do not fully describe what it is. I'm going to give you a definition that fully describes what leadership is, and I hope you can remember it. Leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself and others to create change and achieve goals. This is leadership. Now, let's talk about it. I want to share with you 3 things that make up leadership. Number 1, leadership is about relationships. Specifically, the relationships between leaders and followers. Listen to the definition again. Leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself and others to create change and accomplish goals. Leaders have to have followers. Without followers, there isn't a leader. In fact, you can tell how effective a leader is by looking at how healthy their relationship with their followers is. This doesn't mean if you have a lot of followers, that makes you a leader. You can be an influencer without being a leader. For example, some actors, athletes, and artists might have a lot of followers, but that doesn't make them leaders. Popularity is not leadership. Also, this doesn't mean if you don't have any followers now that you cannot become a leader in the future. Becoming a successful leader takes time. If you are young or inexperienced, you may not have a lot of influence yet. But be encouraged. If you don't have others to lead yet, start by leading yourself. Because if you can lead yourself well, then you can lead others well. Start right now at becoming a leader that's worth following. Number 2, leadership is about influence. Listen to the definition again. Leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself and others to create change and accomplish goals. The essence of leadership is influencing. But what does it mean to influence? Influencing is the ability to communicate, inspire, and motivate others to action. Leaders earn the commitment and enthusiasm of followers by positively influencing them. This doesn't mean that all influence is good influence. People can have a bad influence on others. I'm sure your parents told you at some point, don't hang out with those people because they're a bad influence. People like Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin had tremendous influence on others, but it wasn't a good influence. Their bad influence led to many atrocities and injustices. Good leaders always have a positive influence on others. Also, this doesn't mean if you don't have a lot of influence on others that you cannot be a leader. As I said before, influence comes with time. Start with right where you are. Start having a positive influence on your family, on your friends, on your neighbors, or on your coworkers. And most of all, start having a positive influence on yourself. Number 3, leadership is about change. Listen to the definition again. Leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself and others to create change and accomplish goals. Leadership happens when leaders and followers work together to complete an objective or create positive change. If an objective was not met, or if change did not occur, then leadership did not take place. This doesn't mean if you set goals, you are an effective leader. Anyone can set goals. Leaders complete goals. Not just their own goals, but also the goals of others. Leaders have the ability to motivate their teams and organizations to complete their goals. Also, this doesn't mean if you complete the same goals over and over, you are a leader. Anyone can complete a checklist. Leaders create change. If you keep doing the same thing the same way, you will always get the same results. As James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In order to grow and improve, there has to be change. In order to be successful, you have to change your habits and change your systems. Leaders motivate and challenge people to change and to grow. I just want to share the definition one more time so you don't forget it. Leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself and others to create change and accomplish goals. Let me finish this episode by giving you some application. Here is a quote from John Maxwell I want you to think about. Everything rises and falls on leadership. That means every decision, every rule, and every system, whether good or bad, comes from leaders. This means that good leaders will create positive change, but bad leaders will create chaos. In your own life, are you creating positive change for yourself and others, or are you creating more chaos? Maybe it's time to start developing your leadership potential. Here's a challenge I want you to try. Create positive change this week, either for yourself or for someone else. I'm not just talking about doing a nice deed like buying someone food or letting someone go ahead of you in line. This week, I want you to influence yourself or someone else to create change or accomplish a goal. I want you to commit to something that will positively influence yourself or someone else. So, create a new habit. Stop a bad habit. Create a new routine. or stop an old routine. Whatever it is, create positive change. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please subscribe to it and leave us a review. And remember, leadership is not just for someone. Leadership is for everyone. See you next time.